Alright, I just want to let people know that whoever owns a Buick Lucerne, there's quite a few problems in these cars. And I've had this car for quite some time. As you can see, it's still in good shape. But if you don't maintain these and keep them tuned up and replace parts here and there, they'll go downhill real fast. But if you take care of it and put some money into it, instead of buying another $20,000-$30,000 car, these cars will last 200,000-300,000 miles. But the trick is maintaining, and you'll be having things breaking down all the time. But just like any of these cars today, they're built cheap, you know what I'm saying? This is a 2008 Buick Lucerne. It's got the 3.8 engine, 3800 series 3. This thing right here is a piece of crap, this cover. But, you know, hey, it looks good and looks like a nice engine, doesn't it? But once you take this thing off, it looks like shit. So, the engine looks like crap when you take this little plastic cover off. I think leaving this plastic cover on causes more heat underneath it, because there's some insulation underneath this plastic cover, and it makes the wires brittle. Like any kind of small wires you have, like you know, stuff like that, that's underneath here. You know, your fuel injection wires, your spark plug cables, I mean, all that stuff starts to break down because of the heat. This engine gets hot, and a lot of heat go off of this engine. So you really don't need a plastic cover on, but sometimes they take it off, sometimes I'll leave it on. Well, as you know, I used to work on cars a lot, I think, if you don't know, on my own cars, because I don't trust mechanics. And I would do a good job, and I would figure out things if I didn't know how to do it, and I would do a good job, better than mechanics. So, one thing about this car is you have right there the front engine mount, and these things are notorious to go because you have a lot of torque on this engine. So when you put it in drive and you give it gas, this whole engine goes up right here in the front, because here's your radiator, and it puts a lot of pressure on that engine mount down there, right there. This is going to be the third time replacing this son of a bitch, but I'm not going to do it because I had a small heart attack back in October, so I won't be able to do this crap anymore from my disease. And it's been rough in the last 10 years to try to work on things, and I just can't do it anymore. So I'll pay somebody to do it, and it's going to cost, to replace 4 engine mounts in this car is going to cost close to $600. But these are a bitch to replace in the front. You got to jack the engine up, and like I said, this will be the third time replacing this son of a bitch right here in the front, because they're cheap Chinese crap and they're not made well. So that I have to replace. It's broken right where it meets, right there. So when you put it in drive and hold the brake down, you could see this whole thing pop up right here, and that's bad. So I used to, when the first time it broke, I put a big zip tie around it, like a 1/2 inch, pretty heavy duty zip tie, until I replaced it the first time. So, and then the second one would be way down there, right there behind the engine. If you could see it, you could barely see it right there where my finger is. Half of that's going now. And I've never replaced that, so it lasted quite some time. Because, you know, there's not a lot of torque on the back one, only when you put it in reverse. So, but that one's going to be replaced. And then on the other side is the transmission mount on the side, on the other side of the wheel. That's going to be replaced. And the torque strut right here. And as you can see the cracking it's already doing right here? That was just replaced a 1.5 years ago. I just put this goop in here because of this crack was here. Try to keep it together, but see, it's not even holding. So this is an easy one to replace. You just have 2 nuts and this thing pops right off. You put a new one on, pneumatic driver, boom. But I'll have the mechanic do that. I'll have the mechanic put a new one back here in the engine, and then this one down there. So, and then the transmission mount is over here, but if you take the tire off, it'll be right underneath the trans there on the side, and that won't be replaced. So all 4 mounts. Now if you're having problems with your transmission and it's kicking in hard as you start up at a stop sign, chances are it's your mounts. So don't anybody fool you on putting a new transmission in or rebuilt transmission or doing any internal work on your transmission on any of these cars until you check your engine mounts. So check your engine mounts first. What you do is you get in, have somebody get in the car, put it in, drive, keep your foot on the brake. Then somebody come out here, tell the person in the car to give a little gas while they keep their foot on the brake, and you can see if the engine goes up. If the engine goes up and you're looking at the mount, it's broken. Do it the opposite way for the one in the rear. Put it in reverse. Keep your foot on the brake, give it some gas, look back there where the mount is, and see if the mount goes up and down. You can actually see the rubber if it's broken. So, and the torque strut you can see from the top. That has nothing to do with kind of holding the engine. It holds the engine a little bit together, but so those are the 2 mounts that need to be replaced on most of these Buick Lucernes that are money pits, as you can see. But like I said, it's still in nice shape. Has 94,000 miles for a 94,000 miles, and it's still in good shape. As you can see, the only thing is the seat is starting to ripple. You could have somebody put some foam underneath there to buff it up a little bit. That's a job. You got to take the seat out. I can't do it because of my physical anymore. I can't work on this crap, which makes me pissed. So, you know, you'd have to pay somebody to do it. As you can see, the other seat right there is in good shape, but right there needs some foam underneath to puff that out a little bit to make it, you know, puffy. The back is in good condition. See, that's in really good condition. And another defect on Cosmetics. See this fake wood trim piece? See the crack right there? It's too long and too thin. So what happens, opening and closing the door, banging it, and the vibrations, they always crack right here. Right there. See? And this one's cracked. That was the rear. Here's the front. See the front? Cracked all the way down. So, other than that, the car's good. I mean, I'm not going to go into all the other problems in this damn car. But, you know, for 100,000 miles, now it's time to put some money into it. So, I'm going to have to get new, probably rear shocks soon. I mean, the shocks are good still. The end links were replaced front and back this year. I've maintained it through the years. The sensors go, all the sensors go. You know, there's a lot of things that go in this car. But it still gives you that nice ride. It's got enough power for a V6 engine. The 3800 is a bulletproof engine. But everything else on this car is not bulletproof. So there you go. Again, don't let anybody sell you on a new transmission. Don't anybody tell you to rebuild your transmission when you have slight jerking at a red light, when you start to go, when the light turns green, or a stop sign. First, look at your transmission or your engine mounts. And if they're broken, you fix them. And I guarantee you're pretty much, not guaranteed, but pretty much your transmission problems might go away. Because the first time that happened in this car, when that front engine mount broke, I had the jerking, the hard shifting, you know, from the stop sign, it would go like this. So especially if you give it a little bit more gas, you got to kind of ease it in before you give it gas, because if not, it just jerks the trans. Because, you know, the trans and the transmission and the engine are supposed to be tight together, not like jerking like this, you know, because those mounts are loose or are broken. So there you go, a little bit of ice. Got to run. All right, I wish I could do the work because I know it would be done right, but I think I found a good mechanic now that's going to do the work for me and save me from, you know, having another heart attack, and should be fine. Okay, take care.